Chair Clem, I move House Bill 4029 as amended to the floor with a due pass recommendation, and that the bill be referred to the Joint Committee
On Ways and Means.
referred to the Joint Committee on Ways and Means by prior reference.
Vice Chair Springer moves House Bill 4029 as amended to the floor with a due pass recommendation, and that the bill be referred to the Joint Committee on Ways and Means by prior reference. Discussion.
This makes it a task.
I have a,
Vice Chair McLean.
well, this bill, I think there's some things here that I just don't, I'd hope we could get a -2, and I don't think that may have happened, or that there were votes for a -2. And I hate to have a local issue not go back to local folks for decision-making. I'm going to vote yes on this bill today, but I do believe that, I hope that we cannot make this a precedence, that we're always trying to solve, complaints or conflicts, at home here. And, I mean, I just want to be honest, I want the state law to be the state law and local law, and sometimes they cross and they intersect. But this one I'm in hopes that this bill will help go forward with some of the important issues for both sides, and that they will continue to work together.
Representative Salinas.
I just want to echo Representative McLean's comments.
-1s. We just did the -1s, so the bills with the -1s. Representative Brock Smith.
Thank you, and I too want to echo Representative McLean's comments. Having the local government background at the county and city level, I understand the complexities of this issue, and I have talked to both sides of the argument. I'm going to be a no this morning for those reasons.
Representative Witt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think this bill is vastly more complicated than what first meets the eye, or at least the issues lingering in the background. And I'm not even sure that we've given adequate opportunity for some of our state agencies to weigh in on this issue that may have a differing point of view. And I just want to make it known that Senator Frederick and I are intending to go over to Bend for a site visit to actually try and review some of these issues. And I sure as hell don't want to be making site visits to every place in the state of Oregon that's got some kind of land use problem. And I want to underscore the earlier statements by so many members of this committee. Don't bring your land use problems here to the state of Oregon to sort them out on a one-off basis. It's inappropriate. And people need to learn how to get along and solve their problems at the local level. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative McEwen.
Trying to elevate my
Yeah,
status,
yeah.
Chair Clem.
It's the orange and black.
Thank you, Chair Clem. This bill, perfect. This bill has been challenging at best, and I agree with everything that has been said, that local issues ought to be solved locally. That being said, I'm going to give this a courtesy vote and send it down, and hope that the powers that be at the local level will figure out a way to work together and come together with some resolution to this. I understand what we're trying to do here today. I looked at the -2s, and I understand we're not going to visit the -2s, which I'm a little bit disappointed about.
Well, you're welcome to move them. You can make the motion. I just don't think they have the votes, but you're welcome to move them anytime you like.
That's okay. I just want to reiterate the same thing everybody else is saying. Local people ought to take care of local issues, and I'm sorry this is before us, and I will support it with a courtesy vote.
Mr. Chair?
Representative Escobar.
Yeah, and I too as well came from local government, city government. And it always seems, since I've been in this building, it always seems we end up with one of these or two of these every session. So I'm leaving the legislature this next time, but for you that are staying, get ready for it, because it'll be here.
Okay, let me share my perspective, and my thinking has evolved somewhat over time, too. And I actually wouldn't mind having more discussion on this before, and we've got time. There are certain issues that I think are definitely local issues. I think there are people who say things should be local issues, who, if we actually had a vote on a bill, for example, to make the exceptions process a county-only process, no state review, no DLCD, no LCDC oversight, they would object strenuously to that. So I think there's some insincerity occasionally on the argument that things should be local when we still have complete statewide oversight over even the exceptions process. Having said that, I also believe there are some issues that are of statewide significance. The Deschutes River is not owned by Deschutes County. Crater Lake is not owned by that county. These are waters of the state. I would not let a county drain Crater Lake for water needs when it's a national monument. I'm not saying this bridge is that issue, but this is a big state, and we all have access to the water. And this is not Bend's, it's not even in the city of Bend, first of all. It is in the county. So Deschutes County could weigh in. They didn't. One commissioner, I think, maybe by proxy did. But not every issue is a local issue. Because we all live here, and it is a scenic river designated by the State Parks Department in administrative rule already. So the agency has already weighed in on this. It's by rule prohibited to build a bridge in a scenic waterway currently. This codifies that rule. So if we don't want our agencies involved in this stuff, we should tell them don't get involved in even state scenic waterways, because it is a state scenic waterway, not a Deschutes scenic waterway, not a Bend scenic waterway, a state scenic waterway, and Parks has already ruled on that question. The question is, should Bend Parks and Recs be able to go around by waiting a certain period of time the state administrative rule? If the answer is yes, then let's go to a local system and not have state designations, period. The most appropriate way to do it is have a vote on a statewide area of critical concern if the state's going to actually engage. That's what we did on the Metolius. We went in and said, this is a local issue, but this is such a special place, we're going to come in and make an area and a management plan. We've only done that once in Oregon's history, and that's probably the most appropriate way rather than doing it this way. I would grant that part. But on the other hand, the Deschutes is a special place. Whether it has a bridge over it or not, especially when it's not even in a city, who else would decide? Deschutes County, I guess, theoretically. That's the other option, is Deschutes County decide, since that's whose jurisdiction the land around the river is. But the river is a water of the state, and it's subject to DSL and us. So I'm open to being out-debated on this. Actually, I think this is a good conversation to have, but that's why I don't view this as a local issue, because it's a state river.